And I'm going to share with you some aspects of confidence that maybe you've never heard of before, because I believe way too many people, number one, way too many people lack confidence in one or more areas of life, and it holds them back from accessing more of their greatest potential, to use their gifts and talents at the fullest possible levels, to do the things they're here to do in the world. And number two, way too many people don't even know what confidence is, and yet they still have the audacity to say they lack confidence. But the truth is, you and many other people don't even know what it is. And so we're going to start by defining it, because if you don't know the definition of confidence, then how can you actually tell me if you have confidence or don't have confidence in anything? Because the definition of anything is the foundation of the thing. Like if I asked you right now, do you have confidence in speaking or sharing a message or taking action in some area of your life? Do you have confidence? You're either going to tell me yes or no, but the first thing your brain's going to have to do is instantly define confidence. And you've got a way that you view confidence that most likely is not even helpful for your ability to have confidence. Because if you're like most people, you think your confidence comes from all of the successes you've had in your past, or all of the reps you've had, or all the experience you've had in your past. But if you actually define confidence and you look at it through the lens of this confidence building, this ultimate confidence formula that I'm about to hand you, then you no longer have to rely on any amount of experience, and you no longer have to rely on any amount of or kinds of success in your past in that thing in which you want to have confidence. Would that be helpful to know that you need zero experience and zero success in your past in order to have unstoppable confidence? Yes or no? For most people, the answer is yes. And what you're going to see by the time we get done with this video is confidence is way easier to have and way easier to build than most people realize, because it is not required to have any experience in order to have confidence. But again, let's start with the definition, because the foundation of confidence is the definition. Everything we think and feel and do in the world has to be based on our understanding of the word or the words or the language itself. Like, I won't get into all of it right now, but like if you understand the words you use are what create your reality, then you would understand that if you don't actually have confidence defined in a proper and effective way, then you can't have the confidence that you deserve in your life. And I'll do a totally separate video, now that I'm saying this, totally separate video on your language and the words that you use, because it's crazy how so many people think they see the world in a certain way, but if you get them to pull apart their words that they're using and use different words or redefine the words that they think they know, everything can change. And I believe that if the only thing you get from this video right now is that you define confidence for yourself, it literally could change your entire life and the confidence that you have going forward. So let's look at the definition. I pulled these from Merriam-Webster Dictionary. There's a few different ways you can look at confidence. I pulled the two that I think are most applicable for most people who are trying to build and boost confidence. So first, confidence. Faith or belief that one will, look at this word, act in a right, proper, or effective way. Now let's take this first definition for a second. Faith, belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effective way. Do you know what this doesn't say? This doesn't say confidence is what you get when you've succeeded at things in the past, or confidence is what you get when you have tons of experience. It is faith or belief, which I'll talk about more in a second, how that is part of the building blocks of a foundation, a strong foundation for unshakable confidence. But let's look at this other word that's here that's really fascinating. Act. Will act. Again, this is not about past. And this is where most people get hung up. They're like, well, confidence is about my past. Like, I don't have confidence because I haven't done the thing, or I don't have confidence because I haven't succeeded in the thing. It is a belief that one will act in a right, proper, or effect. So it's based on, like, how will you move forward? Will act is future tense. Are you catching this? Confidence is future focused. Confidence is not about your past. Confidence is future focused. By definition, confidence is about will act. It's about moving forward. It's about what you will do next. It's about how you move forward. Now let's look at these other words. In a right, proper, or effective way. You know what else it doesn't talk about in the definition of confidence? It doesn't talk about the success you will create in the moment that you do the thing. It doesn't talk about success from acting. It talks literally just about the act itself. Will you act in a right, proper, or effective way? That's it. So like, if this, and we'll get into the second one here in a second, which will blow your mind and give you incredible confidence just by hearing the second definition and having me talk through it with you. But like, if all you do is realize that confidence is about a belief or faith that you will act in a right, proper, or effective way, then all you have to know is that you've got to have belief and faith that the action you take will be right, proper, or effective. It does not matter the results. If you are basing your confidence either of two things, on your past experience or success, or lack of success, or lack of experience, or you're basing it on an expectation of a certain outcome or certain success, then you're missing the definition of confidence. You're missing the definition of confidence. The definition of confidence is not about the outcome. Catch this. Write this down if you have to. Go scream it at the top of your lungs to somebody. Just don't hurt their ears, please. It is not about outcome. Confidence is not about outcome. Are you getting this? This could change everything. Confidence is about the way you act. Is it in a right, proper, or effective way? So if literally all you started to do was realize your confidence is based on, am I taking an effective, right, or proper action or step in the direction I want to move? It doesn't even mean I need to create a certain level of success or achievement or get this, whatever. Like, it is about the act. This is why I believe I've been able to have such incredible confidence. And I'll tell you a quick funny story. Well, to me, it's kind of funny. So when I interviewed years ago for the current role that I have, my boss or someone that was part of the interview process came in. I'm going through this entire day of on-site interviews. And between interviews, this particular manager came in and just looked at me and said, "You're really confident." At the time, I was 28 years old. It was several years ago at this point then. And I was kind of taken aback, actually. I was like, I never expected that. And the reason is, like, I wasn't like thinking, oh, I got to show that I'm confident. I was just showing up knowing that I was going to do everything I could to act in a proper, right, and effective way. Like, I was going to give it my best. It was about the action. I had confidence because I knew I was going to show up and give my best. Like, I was going to be my best in that moment. I could not have confidence, or I did not want to stake my confidence on what I thought the outcome was going to be. Are you catching this? It's like when you show up places, when you're living your life, when you're going to the interview, when you're pitching from stage, when you're speaking from stage, when you're talking to your team, if your confidence is based on the outcome you are expecting, then you're not going to have as much confidence as you could. And it'll become shakeable confidence because it's going to be based on what you perceive as the outcome that you're getting in the moment or that you got by doing the thing. But if you totally shift it to focusing on confidence and taking the action, now you can have as much confidence as you want. And it's not limited by the success or outcome in your future or the past. It's about right now. Am I taking right, proper, and effective action for what I'm trying to accomplish? Now, let's go to the second definition because this is even more simple and this could make an even bigger difference once you catch this one. So the second definition of confidence that I found in Merriam-Webster is the quality or state of being certain. The quality or state of being certain. This has nothing to do with past experience. This has nothing to do with a faith or a belief, which is even more interesting to me because it is just about the quality or state of being certain, which means you can create this in yourself at any moment. All you have to do is create a certain level of certainty in yourself, a certain quality or state of being certain in yourself. That's it. That's another definition of confidence. Do you have a level of certainty in yourself that can empower you and strengthen you and give you the courage and boldness you need to move forward, to take action that's right, proper, and effective? That's the game. It's a level of certainty, and you create this certainty by strengthening it just like a muscle over time. I've got weights in the corner here. They're not mine. They're my wife's, but I'll pick them up every once in a while and do some curls. But I do go to the gym 4 to 5 days a week to a CrossFit class, and what I know for certain, and doing this the past 5 months now as I got back into this gym routine, is I'm getting stronger by doing the reps, by showing up, by lifting the weight, by pushing my body day after day after day. Building certainty and building your ability to have a quality or state of certainty in yourself, in your body, is built the exact same way. You got to go get the weight. You got to pick it up. You got to press it. You got to lift it. You got to run with it. You got to push it. But you've got to be intentional about it. Like just because the gym exists, just because the weights exist, doesn't mean I'm getting stronger. I'm not getting stronger if I don't pick up the weight. If I think about the gym, I'm not going to get stronger. If I think, oh, that gym, that'd be cool. I should go there sometime. That's a place people get stronger. People get stronger picking up weights. If that's what I'm focused on, then guess what? I ain't going to get strong. I'm not going to get jacked. I'm not going to get the strength that I'm looking for physically. But if I pick up the weights of certainty, meaning every time I go to do something or speak or do a coaching call or engage and interact with another human, if I'm building certainty in myself, within me, when I say myself, I mean within me. And I'll talk in a moment about the building of confidence. But if I build that certainty in me and I just focus on showing up with certainty. By the way, have you ever met someone that is completely certain in confidence? This is the way you build it. You look at that person, you observe that person or those people who you see as completely confident and totally certain in who they are and what they do, and you model those people. How do they move? How do they speak? How do they walk? Do they use their hands? How tall do they stand? I don't mean physical, like 6 foot, 6'2", 5'9". I'm saying like, do they stand straight and tall? Do they look you in the eye? Do they smile? How do they move? What's the energy they have that they exude? Are they joyful and grateful and playful? Because when you can see someone that you perceive as certain and confident, you just have to model them, and that's how you'll start to strengthen yourself. Like, before I knew how to do squats and bench press and power cleans and all these lifts, I didn't know how to do it. I had to watch someone and literally just do what that person did until I trained my body to do those things. Confidence, certainty happens the same exact way. You've got to build it in yourself. Now, let's get to the building. So the foundation is the definition. Because if we don't define what confidence is, as you can see and have seen over the past few minutes, like we can't even talk about how to build it because it is built on nothing. It's built on a lack of understanding about what it actually is. So now let's get into the building blocks of confidence. This is going to be crazy, awesome, and fun. So the first one, for me, this is the thing that most people miss. Like, I cannot talk about building unshakable, unstoppable confidence and giving you the ultimate confidence formula without this very first block. And it's one over the years that I've tried to not talk about. Not because I didn't want to talk about it, but because I felt like, there's got to be more scientific or like there's got to be like a worldly way to talk about confidence. But the more I talk about confidence, the more I talk about like, or think for myself, like, how do I have unshakable confidence in so many situations? It's this one. And so I can't not share it with you. So I'm going to reveal it to you right now. And it's this. Faith. Faith. Or to me, trusting God. Trusting God. Like, my word of the year in 2024 is trust. And it's a single word, but what it really means is trust God. And the reason I say trust God is because I know for certain there are many things I can do as a man, as a human in this world that can move me forward, that can create results. But I also know that God is required for creating any lasting success in my life. To become the person I want to become, to experience the life I want to experience, to be the parent, the husband, the worker, the speaker, the content creator that I want to be, it requires a trusting of God's plans. It requires a trusting of God's plans. Psalm 16:3 says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. I know for certain that there's no amount of confidence that can touch my confidence in knowing that God is establishing my plans, that He has greater plans for me than I could ever make for myself. And if I trust God in that, it doesn't matter what other people do. As a pastor of a church that I used to go to used to say, perform for the audience of one. Don't perform for other people. Don't live your life for other people. Perform for the audience of one. Live your life for God. And the times that I am trusting God and living my life for God and having faith, and I'll define it for you in a second because it is part of the definition of confidence, faith or belief that one will act, and we'll tie these two together in a second. But the times that I've trusted God and I've had faith in God are the times that I've had more confidence, unshakable confidence than I could have ever imagined in my entire life doing any of the worldly human things that I could do. Like, if I am performing my life for God alone, then what anybody else sees me do, sees me fail, sees me make a mistake, sees me mess up, it does not matter. And you know the number one thing that shakes the confidence of most people? embarrassment, being rejected, being seen as a failure, being seen as someone who fell short or didn't achieve or did something bad and messed up and made a mistake. We do not want to be rejected by other humans. We don't want to be embarrassed. We are wired to not want to be embarrassed. Do you know there's a great book called Social by Matthew Lieberman, and in his book he talks about research that he and his team did that shows parts of the brain that activate when we get hit. When we feel physical pain, the same part of the brain activates when we're embarrassed. They're socially rejected. Like, social rejection and embarrassment is that powerful in our brain that it activates the same part of our brain as when we're actually physically hurt. When we feel something physically, feel the physical pain, it activates the same part of the brain as when you're embarrassed. So that's how I know that most people lack confidence, because they don't want to fall and fail in front of other people because they are performing for other people. But if I get on a call, a coaching call with a new client or prospective client or even a longtime client, or I get on stage in front of a small group or a large group, a bigger stage than I've ever been on before in my life, if I'm performing for those people, then I will lack confidence, or I will not have the same level of confidence as if I am simply trusting God and having faith that He will give me everything I need in that moment to deliver to the level I need to deliver. By the way, back to this. Belief or faith that one will act right, proper, or effective. So if I trust that God will give me what I need to act in a right, proper, or effective way, then what else do I need? I don't need to lean on an expectation of an outcome. I don't need to lean on experience or past successes. I need to lean on the fact that God is in control. And if He wants me to fail in front of 500 people speaking on stage, or He wants me to fail on a coaching call, or He wants me to fail in one way, shape, or form, then He will let it happen for my good, for my testing, for my refinement and my development. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is on my vision board over here. It's Hebrews 12:11. No discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Did you catch that? No discipline seems pleasant, but painful. Like, the Bible verse could have stopped right there. No discipline seems pleasant. But it went on to say, not only is it not pleasant, it is painful, which means full of pain. And it goes on to say, no discipline seems pleasant at the time, but painful. Later on, however, it will produce a harvest of righteousness and peace for those who have been trained by it. For those who have been trained by it. See, I know that even if I get on that stage or I get on a call or I do whatever and I fail and I fall, that discipline will refine me. It will produce in me fruits that I could never produce without the failure. Are you catching this? Are you seeing what I'm saying here? So that's why the foundation, once we have the definition, we have to realize that if we have faith in God and trust God, then we can have unshakable confidence. But if our faith is in ourselves, we can't have as much confidence because God is the one laying our plans. We have the ability to make choices and to choose how we act and what we do and how much we prepare and all of these things. But at the end of the day, when it's time to go, when it's time to act in a right, proper, or effective way, if we trust God, then we know we're performing for an audience of one. Then all the worry of embarrassment and potential rejection goes away because I don't care if these people see me as a failure or reject me or they laugh at me because I messed something up. It just does not matter. So let's go to the second part. Now, this is an interesting one as well. You might think it's the same. So the next one is hope. You might initially think it's kind of the same, but it's not. By definition in positive psychology. So if you're listening to me talk about faith and trust in God, and you're like, yeah, but the Bible talks about hope. So JJ, isn't that like, don't we have hope in God? Don't we have hope in Jesus? Hope in what Jesus did for us? Yes, but in right here, what I'm trying to help you build is unshakable confidence. We already talked about trusting God. Now let's define this word hope as it's defined in positive psychology, because I think it will give you a frame of reference that helps you to create unshakable confidence. So let's also go back to this word before I define hope. So faith, I'm talking about faith and trust in God, but also let's understand that faith in positive psychology, because in positive psychology, I'm reading a book called The Positivity Effect by Dan Tomasulo, PhD. It's awesome. I'm just getting into it, and it's awesome. I highly recommend it. But he tells us, he's one of the original researchers in the science of hope. And what they tell us is that in positive psychology, faith, hope, and optimism are defined in 3 different ways. So many people interchange these words as if they're the exact same thing. But in positive psychology, specifically in the science of positive psychology, they define hope, faith, and optimism differently. Optimism is a general expectation that things will work out and that things will be good in the future. Faith is a belief in something or someone outside of you to act to create or produce a result. So faith has nothing to do with you. It's everything or anyone outside of you, including, but not limited to, God or other people or circumstances or whatever. But faith is like an expectation that things will happen in a certain way based on nothing that you did, but based on what other people do. Hope, as defined in positive psychology, is an expectation of outcomes based on what you can do, based on you taking action, based on the way you show up and all the things that you put into it. So it's more about agency when you think of hope in positive psychology. So this is more about self. Hope in this definition is more about self. And I highlight this because if you have faith, but you don't have hope that you can take action and get a result, then you're not going to have the same level of confidence that you could without it, right? So you've got to start realizing that building hope and focusing on a level of hopefulness and cultivating hope in your life, in your mindset, is vitally important for creating unshakable, unstoppable confidence. And so you do this in many different ways, but one is to just start taking small actions and seeing that you can produce results, that you can take action. Because hope is an understanding that you can take action and create a result in your life. And frankly, even if your hope is like, I'm just going to take an action and see what happens, that's a great way to have confidence. Because then it's no longer built on my chair squeaking. Then it's no longer built on like hope that I can take action and produce a great result. The best kind of hope is hope that I can take an action, get a result, learn from it, grow, develop, get better, and produce and take better, right, more proper and effective action in the future the next time I attempt that thing. Then we'll move on to, speaking of this, action. Action. I wasn't trying to cross it out. Action is the next one. Look, if you're not going to take action, you can't have confidence. Because like by definition, you've got to act in order to have confidence. Like it's a belief that you will act. Act is in the definition, so you've got to have action. Like you've got to do something to move the ball forward, to create a result. Even if you don't produce the best result you're looking for, you got to take action. So the thing you've got to realize, like once I have faith and trust in God, and I've defined the word itself, first of all, which hopefully you've got at this point, and then I've hoped that I can take action and produce a result, now I got to do it. I got to prove to myself that I can take the action. I'm going to get rid of this chair because it's squeaking a little too much on me. So you've got to know that you can take action and do something. Like you're going to act in a certain way and get a result. Now, the next one is important because it's tied to action, which is perspective. Because once you take action, you're going to produce a result. And once you produce a result, you're going to look at that result through a certain lens, and you're going to look at that result and you're going to say, did I produce the result I wanted, or did I not? Or how am I going to look at this thing that was produced by me taking action? And here's the kicker. If you're looking at the results through the perspective or lens of I needed a certain level of success or achievement or outcome, then you will lack confidence. Because your brain will feel like, well, I didn't produce it. How could I produce it again? And you're back to the wrong definition of confidence that I talked about earlier, which is you're basing your confidence on the success or lack of success in the future that you produce, or the lack of success or experience that you have in your past. So stay away from the forward-looking and the rear view and know it's about acting now, today. And then once you produce the result, what lens are you going to look through? The lens I'd encourage you to look through to have unshakable confidence is the lens of learning. The lens of learning. Because if you can look at the result and you can analyze it and you can say, what can I learn from producing that result? What can I learn from the action I took and what outcome I got so that the next time I do this, I can be better? Not perfect, but better. Because if you continually take action in the direction of your dreams, then you have a chance to continually get better. But if you take action in the direction of your dreams, but you're not learning from the action because you're looking through the lens or perspective of, I got to be perfect, then you're not going to develop yourself as much. Because it's in the reflection that we have a chance to learn. When we review what we've done, the results we've produced, the action we took, how we did the thing, we analyze and we look at ourselves and we do a self-analysis and we do analysis of what was produced. Now we can learn. So you have to look through the correct lens at the results that you produce from the actions that you take. And finally, and then I'll get into like what all of this actually means together, because it's like this will bring it all together once I finish it up here. But the last thing is express or speak. So like, if you want to really, let's go back to the example I said. Like, if you see someone that lives with confidence and certainty, you're like, man, that's a model of confidence. That is a model of certainty that I want to build in myself. What did I say you needed to do? You needed to do the things those people did. You need to live the way that person lived. You need to show up and exude the energy that person exudes. You need to speak the language that person speaks. You need to express yourself the way that person expresses himself. Because when you express the confidence based on the definition, the faith, the hope, the action, the perspective, when you're living out this confidence, you strengthen it in yourself. Because when you're actually verbalizing the words about your confidence and your belief and your faith and your hope, and you're verbalizing what you're going to do and how you're going to take action in a right, proper, and effective way, now you're wiring your brain to know that's who you are, that's how you are, and you will show up and live that way more often. And the more often you express and speak with confidence and you remind yourself of who you are, the more you will build that confidence, that certainty in you, because you're going to remind yourself, I trust God. I trust God. I have faith, and I have hope that I can take an action and produce a result that I can learn from, grow from, and then get a result so that I can look through it with the lens of learning, get better, and then continue to express. Now you create this virtuous, positive, powerful cycle in your own life so that you can be the very best version of yourself. Now let's tie all of this together by understanding what all of this is. Choice. If you can't see it there, I'll put it up here. Choice. Every single one of these components of this unshakable building of confidence, they're all choices. You have a choice. You have a choice to define confidence for yourself in your own life. You have a choice to choose faith and to trust God. You have a choice to have hope that you can take action, that you are a person that has agency to do something in your life to produce a result. And then you have a choice to take action. And you have a choice for how you look at the results. You have a choice to express this confidence every day in everything that you do. And if you've loved this video, if you've gotten a ton of value from it, you're like, but JJ, I want to go deeper with you, man. I want to learn more from you. If you'd love to get a 90-minute coaching session with me, you can click the link in the description. You can sign up for a Saturday session where I'll coach you through any number of things. You can look in the description below to see the different types of coaching sessions that I'm offering. I'd love to give you a one-on-one session so we can dive into helping you to eliminate any limiting beliefs, to define confidence for yourself, and see where you can start to build and strengthen your own confidence in different areas of your life so you can be the unstoppable person that you're here to be, so you can be the person of influence, you can be the leader you're meant to be, so you can speak with confidence and live and show up with confidence to draw and attract more of the right people to you so you can open up more of the best opportunities and thrive in your life and use your gifts and talents to make the positive, meaningful, important difference that you're here to make. Friend, again, I'd love to get in a coaching session with you if this would be of help for you. If you've loved the video, hit like, please comment, let me know what you loved about it. If you have questions about anything that I've shared, please ask those in the comments. And if you truly believe this message could be an important one for someone you care about to hear right now, hit that share button and send it off to someone you care about who could benefit from getting this message today. And whatever you're going after, friend, refuse to settle for anything less than your greatest potential. Just keep going. Great things are happening. Breakthrough is near, and I'll see you in the next one.